Hey y'all, how's it going tonight? I was just chilling out. I was doing some contemplation like I usually do. Contemplation about life, contemplation about what's going on, thinking about God's plan and all of this. And for me, the way I see God's plan going is that we're all where we need to be. We've come so far. Like literally, if you're in this neck of the woods, right? You're looking at where you've come from, I imagine. Most times, most days. I literally feel like I've gone through this whole space of understanding that it's okay, I'm gonna get ditched. It's okay, not everyone's gonna understand me. It's okay that I'm not made for everybody. And likewise. And I feel like you guys are going through that too. I feel like everyone's like magnets, you know what I mean? It's either you're repelling or you're attracting. It's so energetic based right now. I feel it everywhere. It's like I'm literally like pushing away the people that don't serve me anymore, and I'm pretty sure you are too. It's just a natural reaction. It's like if you're a chosen starseed or empath, it's like we've all gone through these motions of like dealing with people that were just so horrendous. You know what I mean? It's like, I think why most empaths always face a narcissist is because in this particular season, I feel like God in these last years had to show us what true evil looked like, because it was something that maybe we couldn't fathom. Like, I know whatever place I come from, I'm not really used to hate being right in front of my face. And I know people might say, like, whoa, you're from Earth. And it's like, yeah, maybe I am. But I truly feel like my heart isn't. I feel like the place I come from is one of love. I feel like the place I come from is one where I don't have to worry about these things, you know? Like, I can just, like, talk to people. It doesn't matter what age, whatever. And it's like, I'm so done with the stigmas. Like, stop putting these walls up. Stop putting these barriers up. It's like, are we at an age where this shit needs to end? At least it does in my head. At least it does in my mentality, because when everyone started going their separate ways in my life, either I pushed against them because they were no good and they were garbage people, or they pushed away from me because anyone in this position, just like you guys are, they can't handle us. They can't handle what we have to say. They can't handle the truth that we're bringing forth. They can't handle that we're like, in a weird way, like magic to them. You know what I mean? We're like freaking magic or something. It's like we're not the people that they grew up with. And it's really just a vibration change. It's like we're just not tuned to the same vibration. We're just not on the same level, and these shifts are happening. And we've had to go through that. You know what I mean? We've got ditched, and we're like, okay, we've got a lot of people that we lost, and that's okay. And we just like keep going on. And then at the same time, it's like we started realizing that the whole point of most of our lives was to keep us silenced. Like sometimes, how I was talking about like how things are like a game, etc., right? In some weird, strange way, if you take a look at your life and you actually like notice how many people, it could be family, friends, that always like shunned you in a sense with your bright ideas. They always like minimized what you were saying or devaluing what you were saying, but yet they would go listen to some jackass, and you were just like, should I be valuing this person's opinion, granted that they like that person? And you start to believe in yourself, and you start to think like, hey, maybe I'm putting too much value in stalking these people because they really don't have a good sense of, or a good navigation system as to what's right and wrong, or what's of value and not of value. You know what I'm saying? And we start to become discerners, especially as empaths, especially as starseeds and chosen ones, because we start figuring out how to navigate around these people. But lastly comes those narcissists. The narcissists are just like very devoid of emotion, and it's really hard for an empath because we genuinely, or most of us that even chosens, it's like really hard for us to hate. You know what I mean? It's really hard for us to hate. Like, and it's like, it's really hard for us to give up on people. So it's like as if narcissists, because they're so devoid of those characteristics, we get into like really amped like savior mode. You know what I mean? And then we get into savior mode and they just tear us apart. So we're like a big, juicy, energetic steak to these guys. And they see us and they salivate and they're like, how can we just like dysfunctionally destroy these people so they have no self worth and they don't want to move on in the journey of the game? So if you think about it this way, you can kind of see like narcissists in our life, kind of like those annoying rooks in chess, always trying to get in your way. But they do have a mean streak in them. They really do crumble our self-worth. That is like their MO. And we've all had to go through these guys. Like, at least for me, like, shit. I think in my lifetime, like, I've had like 3 major ones, like ones, but then I had like little mini ones that I didn't even realize were mini ones in the first place. And it's like, it takes a lot of time. And I feel like that's what God's been doing all along. God's been preparing us and showing us all these forms of discernment that we have to get through to make us understand, like, what are the elements of making somebody a volatile person in your life. If you had the eyes to see, which at the time when I did, you could actually see the, everyone understands auras, etc. But it's like you can actually see the change of someone who's devoid of certain emotions. Their color scheme isn't. You'll notice their color scheme's off. Whereas, like, if you don't have the eyes to see, which I think most of us are in this position, maybe a lot of you have your third eyes on. I'm not sure. But if you don't, I feel like that's what God was preparing us with, was giving us all these different individual characters, in our way, simply to show us what we're facing on different existences. So it's like we're being prepared in a way, like when we're in different existences, it's like we could see the evil in front of us. But here it's like we had to actually get beat down, abused, mentally, emotionally by certain characters just to be better trained for this type of existence. And the thing is like it made us reclaim our power. Like, that's all this did. All this did was teach us how to get stronger, how to get better, how to discern, how to put up boundaries, how to figure out how we navigate our lives around through, transmute them, get them out of our existence, etc. And it's like we've been doing this so brilliantly for a long time now. We're just like marching through. And as we keep going, right, I feel like God's exposing more and more of him herself around the world. It might seem slow, but it's actually very ramped up. Like, we've been processing and we've been actually pulling through so much faster than any time in my existence that I've ever seen. Like, if I could think about 10 years ago to now, it's like, whoa, what a transformation. I don't know about you guys. I'd say like 2012 on. That's when I think things really started. Like, the Mayans probably had it right. It was probably just not the end. Because, the end can mean a new age in a sense too. So, but mind you, we don't even know what age we're in. We started with a lunar calendar. We moved to a solar. And then it's like, that's why I always think the star maps are a really good thing. Because then you know where the astral constellations were. And you can actually, like, mathematically figure out what age we're in, I guess, in some degree. I mean, it's really hard to tell at this point, but either way, even if it's just in a focal point that we're given is 2012 to the minds, the consciousness, right? For me, I thought it was 2012, but it's been a wild ride up until this point, and it's going to continue to be a wild ride. Like, literally, what I do most nights is I find myself, like, doing mini investigations of different things that are happening. I'm trying to piece together something right now, and it's so funny because whenever we think there aren't signs all around us. So I was, like, literally doing my channeling. I was channeling someone. I'm not done with it yet, so I'm not going to go out and... But it was like I was getting this place, Prometheus, and I was like, okay, I'm going to figure out what's going on with all of this. And then when I get to one of the dates at the very end, it was 3/16/1957. And I was like, oh, this is what the date was. And I was like, are you kidding me? 316, really? I was like, of course it is. Of course. Because I'm on the right track. There we go. Okay. Anyways, that's a little side note for me. For those of you who did watch me ever or ever paid attention to me once upon a time, that's a number that's been following me since I was a teenager. But anyways, it's a very heartfelt number because it lets me know that I'm still on track. You know what I mean? Which is very helpful. But oh my gosh, it's like we keep finding this repeated action towards discernment and figuring out what's right and wrong, because literally as these polarities shift, and what I mean by shift, I've even said this before, it's like we're in directional opposition to everything that is like literally the wrong. It's like, you know how people talk about this like Mandela effect? Okay, think about it this way, right? It's like, you know, when people thought that, oh, that's sick, you know, they'll say words like, oh, that's sick, or that's fat. Those are old slangs, right? But it's like they're the oxymoron of what is really what you're trying to say. And that's kind of like the energy that we're going through as a people. It's like I'm literally looking at jackasses running countries. And then I'm literally looking at morons put laws into action. And I'm just like, am I in some topsy-turvy, like other world where nothing makes sense? And it's like really crazy that that's why the chosens, or those that are on this path, seem so foreign to like everybody. Because it's like, are we the Mandela effect? Did we remember what it means to be human and have an open mind and be thought provoked? And it's like, you just see that more and more of us are turning on. But that seems to be what we're in direct opposition. It's like, you can't make sense to these people. You know what I mean? You give them like straight facts and logic, and they're like, no, the fear is right. It's like, you cannot shake them. And I mean, I'm on this mission of trying to shake people. So I hope you guys are on the same tip, but it's like talking to like, you know, wood over here. Some of these, I'm just like, wow. I'm like, I don't even know what to say to half the time. It's like, even if you could profess certain things to people, it's like, the way the energy is working right now, it's like for those that do not hear the word, it's like you're not going to hear it anymore. I'm not saying that people cannot be converted or changed, but it's like I feel like certain characters on this field have been shut off. Like they're just not processing. They're just not coming into the mix. You know what I mean? And I feel that that's a real sadness that's put upon our planet. And like, I understand we're here to transmute. I understand we're here to do all kinds of great works. You know, I'm not saying anybody cannot be transformed. That is not what I'm trying to say. I feel like everyone's got a chance at transformation. However, I feel like there's some people that will never elevate to a vibration where they could even encompass the understanding necessary to move forward in this type of motion of accelerated ascension. It just seems like there is this dysfunctional aspect to it. And it's not dysfunctional. It's actually in order to wake up those that have a chance. It's like for those that have the capacity to like really, you know, push through that ceiling. It's like this energy in direct opposition oxymoron stage that we're all in. That's why the chosens are getting so persecuted. That's why star seeds are feeling like they're on, you know, multi-dimensional situations. Like I'm pretty sure like it's a little different. It's like I feel like the chosens go through it in a more physical way. And not to say anything, but I feel like the star seeds are actually like processing like the elements I was talking about before, which is like if they're having other altercations, etc., in different dimensional senses, it's like they're feeling all of that too. So it's like it's a really tough place to be for all of us. And the thing is that as we're getting through this, I truly feel like the connections that we're making now are just going to be so much more profound. They're just going to keep flowing more effortlessly because I feel like dad and mom are exposing themselves, or the I am presence, all through the world. It's being felt. It's being truly felt. And if you guys don't see it, it's like I said, like I feel like there's signs everywhere. I really do. I think even if you're watching this video right now, I might be a sign or a message for somebody else. You're not going crazy. The whole world is not in direct opposition of you. You're just marching on to your own drum with God. And you're finding that those that do not follow you or get along with you, they're just going to like slide off of you. And it's just the way it is right now. And it's like so amazing because I feel like what's going to take place is a lot of us are just going to gravitate towards each other. Like I've noticed in the last weeks, like ever since I did that like real cutoff, I've been finding all these people that I used to be connected with long time ago, just reaching out for the, for the fun of it. People I haven't talked to in like 12, 14 years. And I'm like, yes, I'm like the movement, the gravitation towards me is happening. And it's a great moment in time for myself. And maybe it is for you too. It's like for those of us that are chosen, it's like, we've been going through this battle of being hated on, of like people not getting along with us, people just in direct opposition. Everything you say, the sky is blue, no, it's green, no, it's this. It's like we're literally getting to a point where it's like we're starting to attract our posses. We're starting to attract who we're supposed to attract. And we shouldn't be scared of that. You know what I mean? Like, this is an awesome time to be alive. It's really not about clout at this point. I feel like there are some people that are really in this for clout, and then there's ones that are really in it just to win it, in a sense. Like, there's actually ones that are trying to make moves. There's actually ones that are trying to come from a heart space versus a mind space. And if you are one of those people, please know that, it may seem at this time like the meek won't inherit the earth, but they will. And I guarantee that, because the thing is that once things move in a more energetic sense of existence, right? Like, people understand it as dimensional cells. It's like the more you can expand yourself, your soul, etc., you actually carry more of a value, put it that way, in those existences of consciousness. So the thing is like, even if you're, doing what you're doing here and you're not feeling as fruitful, please know that your currency in other places, because of your expansive heart, is way more felt and understood and appreciated in other forms of conscious existence. So please don't ever stray from your way of being to chase things like cloud, etc. I mean, for myself, I've always been a fan of, just like I've said before, quality versus quantity. So please keep that in mind. I just wanted to come on to share how far we've come. I think God's plan is just to speak through us all. I think God's plan is just to be, here with us, showing others, being in love with love, being in love with the idea of a better place, of a better existence. Love you lots, guys. Hope you have a great night. Stay blessed, not stressed, okay? Bye.